Welcome to our session on policies and management. Having policies and procedures in place can make your program run much more smoothly for both yourself and your patrons. Picture it, your ideal library. Having a vision in mind, as we've talked about several times over the course of our class, kind of knowing that mission and vision can kind of help set the tone for your entire program. And once you have that philosophy in mind, think about how your policies and procedures match and mesh with what your core beliefs are for your library program. And here is the policy document from the school board policies in the district where I work about the library media program. And it's in the instructional section. And you can see that it is kind of a general overview of the responsibilities and the outline for the program. I know we've talked before about the difference between policy and procedure. This screen has the table of contents from our collection development procedure in the district. And while the policy points to this document really gets down to the nitty-gritty of how collection development works. So having procedures kind of codified can really be helpful, especially if you're in a multi-school district where you want to have some consistency across the board. Here's a question to start thinking about for when the talk is over. But what types of procedures would be needed to build a thriving school library program? We've looked at some learning spaces, and now you'll need to think about what kind of environment you want to exist within your library program. And your policies and procedures will help set the tone for that environment, whether you're going to be a loud, creative, collaborative place, or a shush-shush place, or a combination of both. And you'll have to think about developing thoughtful procedures for everything from how students enter the library to how they check out books. Here's a picture of students at a story time. So there might be a certain place that students have to sit, or for high school or middle school students, there might be certain places they go to sign in if they're there for study hall versus if they're coming in for a class. So there are lots of different procedural things you'll have to think through and put into place. But the beauty of the procedure is that it can be changeable. If you're working with elementary school students, there's this great wiki called elementarylibraryroutines.wikispaces.com, and it has a lot of really rich resources and ideas from all different kinds of people about how to kind of organize and manage the elementary school library. So we think about procedures and we think about managing the experience of our users, but we also have to think about all the other kind of management pieces in the library. How long are you going to check out materials? Are you going to charge fines? There are a myriad of decisions that you might have to make or that are available for you to change when you're managing the library. Kind of step out of yourself and be an observer of your library space to see how it is being used and unused. Talk to your patrons. Find out from students and faculty members about what things that they really value about the library and what things they still need. And don't forget the value of your professional learning network and reach out to other colleagues to find out what works well in their libraries. We looked at a brainstorming question a second ago, and now we'll look at a procedural scenario. So say that you've just added a new type of whatever kind of material to your collection. How do you go about creating procedures around the use of that material, and what other things would you have to consider? And we'll get to that question in just a second with some activities.